All right, Jeremy Miner, we're back. So the two biggest emotional drivers that causes your prospect or a human being to want to change is pain and the fear of future pain. So a lot of people say that the two biggest emotional drivers are pain and pleasure. Pleasure is a distant third. The two things that causes your prospects to want to change are pain and the fear of continuous and future pain, that this could keep going on or it could happen in the future. Like, let's say if you're selling cybersecurity, that there could be future pain if they don't do anything to protect themselves, okay? Now, that matches into something I heard Tony Robbins say one time, and I like to take it actually a step further than what he said. In order to persuade at the highest level, to influence, to sell, this is important that you write this down. You have to master how to emotionally connect with that prospect where they feel like you understand them, okay, their needs, their wants, their desires, even their fears, without buying into their story. Now, this is important. You can understand somebody, you can understand a prospect and judge them. But if you judge them, unlikely they will buy. They have to feel like you understand them, okay? You emotionally connect with them. You go there first. And when you master how to do that, because remember, you're committed to mastery, right? So to emotionally connect, we have to go there first without buying into their story. Remember, pain and the fear of future pain. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up to you is I was at a keynote, a speaking engagement. I remember this was probably about maybe 6-7 months ago. And a lady came up to me, and after she's like, I love your presentation. This was amazing. I'm actually one of your new clients. I'm in such and such. I think she said she was in our n.e.p.q 3.0 program or something. It's our mid-level program. And she said, I just have a really hard time with asking some of these questions because I feel bad when I'm bringing out their pain. And I'm like, well, the problem with that concept is if you can't help the prospect relive their pain of their current situation and then have a fear of future pain, they will feel no need to change. And when they feel no need to change, that's why you get tons of objections, and that's why they don't buy from you. So in reality, I asked her, who are you actually hurting? By not helping them relive their pain and have a fear of future pain, you're actually hurting the prospect because now they don't feel a need to change. And now the problems stay the same and nothing ever changes for them. I think that was like a revelation in her mind. And then she took off and started crushing it, okay? So always remember, selling is not something you do to people. Remember, selling something you do what? For people. And doing this for them helps them want to change, okay? That's the important part here. All right, now let me give you an example of some probing questions that you can use that, okay? So help them relive the pain. So let's say a prospect tells you some type of problem, okay? It doesn't matter the industry. They tell you some type of problem. You can go run it. Hey, can you give me a specific example of when that actually happened? Or can you give me a specific example of what actually happened? So if they're like, well, you know, last week we had this problem now. Let's say you're selling to a company. Last week we had this problem in our company with such and such software. I'm just making something up. So instead of just taking that at surface level, because that's just a surface level answer, how do I get the prospect to open up and relive the pain of those problems and those challenges? This is what I mean by that. Hey, can you give me an example of when that actually happened? Oh yeah, just last week and she starts to tell me the problem, more in depth about the problem. She expands on that problem. Not only is she telling me that, who is she telling? She's telling herself that. Now that's just the start. She's starting to relive the pain, okay? Now, depending on what I'm selling, there's going to be some different context here. I might say, how often is this happening to you guys? Or how long has this been going on? Depending on what you sell. How long has this actually been going on for? Now notice, what type of tone am I using? A concern tone, a tone that shows empathy. Why? Does empathy actually raise trust in their mind that they feel like you care for them, or lower trust or they feel like you don't care for them? I think you know the answer. Of course, it raises your trust. It raises trust in their mind that you're actually there for them. You actually care about what's going on. Oh, how often is that actually happening to you guys? See, my tone communicates concern for you, the consequence. Now, Also, what this does is when they say, oh, this has been going on for the last year or whatever it is, then it reminds themselves of how long what the problem has been going on and they haven't done anything about solving it. Okay. Then I could do it a couple of different ways. I could say, so that's been now, instead of saying that, I'm typically going to repeat back whatever the issue is. Okay. Let's say if I sold cars, and let's say that, I mean, this will be easy. Let's say if I sold cars and let's say their problem was they have a car that's 10 years old, it's broken down a few times driving to their job, and they've missed some days at work. Their boss is really mad, and they feel like if this keeps happening, they might lose their job. So I would ask, oh, so when did you have your last breakdown? Okay, what actually happened? Oh my gosh, we're on the way to work. I was late for this meeting, blah, blah. Okay, how often has this been going on? Well, this is happening twice in the last 3 months. Okay, then I'm going to say, so this has been going on for the past 6 months. Has that had a impact on you? Oh, you have no idea. Well, in what way though? Okay. Now, this is important that you verbal pace this out. I see a lot of salespeople try to do something like this because they try to watch some free content on Instagram or YouTube, and they don't understand the context of how to use these questions, so they mess it up, right? You're going to get basic content on free content compared to like our paid mastery courses. It's like a night and day difference, okay? So notice how I pace this out, because a lot of salespeople are like, that's been going on for the past 6 months. Has that had an impact on you? And monotone voice equals monotone surface level answers. A lot of times like, well, it's not that bad. But notice how I pace it out and how my tone shifts into that concerned tone. Notice what type of an emotion I'm transferring to that prospect. I've already got them emotional here by these last 2 or 3 questions. This is me probing. I'm precision probing, okay? So your car's been breaking down the last 6 months. Has that had a, I mean, besides just your job, has that had a impact on you? Oh my gosh, well, in what way? Notice the verbal pauses. Has that had a impact on you? Notice the verbal pauses. Shows I'm concerned. That triggers the prospect to think deeper about what I'm asking. Okay, do you see how that works? All right. All right. I hope that helped you today. Now, if you have any questions about probing or precision probing or anything, like I said, best place to reach me, because you can actually ask me questions. I'm going to let you text me. So it's 480-637-2944. Okay. Just text me. Myself or one of my sales trainers will get back to you and help you with maybe learning how to probe and take the prospect far below the surface than what you are now. I can assure you, once you start to master this, the emotional connection is times 10. Okay. Hope that helped you. Like I said, text us if you have questions and you need additional help.